Right, folks, not only let's quickly just thank some of our sponsors. Now, that one of the guys, or at least not one of the guys, but the team, you see it behind me, Evox, has been behind all of the teams. And it's interesting, on the weekend we realized that from an Evox point of view, it was the supplements that had to make sure the final little bit of energy was added on top of the pile. It was the protein during the season. Every game, every practice session was finely tuned in terms of gym and nutrition. So to the guys at Evox, an enormous thanks. Your support in the nutrition space, and make no mistake, that is what actually, without that, you just don't have the 80 minutes of legs to get through. Jerome, would you agree with me?
Definitely, JP. Definitely. I could see now when we had the emerging, or the amateur sevens team in Kenya, played a lot of games on their day, and the guys were using it also at Oudtshoorn with the amateur guys, normal club guys. The feedback that we've got, please can we have that stuff again? It really works.
When you're not finely tuned, when you haven't eaten properly during the week, when you haven't had the food, when you're tired, it's extreme, or overtrained perhaps, it's extremely difficult to get the full 80 minutes, and you need the full 80 minutes from every player during the game.
Yeah, definitely, JP. I mean, what we do also sometimes, if the guys come in for practices and things like that, they use the stuff, and then you could see under practice field, they're just totally different guys and things like that. So it's really almost like a must for people now. I know there's a lot of people with different views and things like that, but I mean, from my experience and working with the team and guys taking it, it's almost a must that you have to use that stuff.
Nazim, we're talking about systems in rugby, but we're also seeing the same systems being used by the different teams on the 19s and 21s and so on. In the gym, similar type of programs as the seniors, nutrition, similar type of methodology as the seniors. So that when they come to under 21, they already understand and so on. The under 19s also having that sort of a culture now built into them of nutrition, training, eating, sleeping.
Most definitely. You must realize that more than 90% of the under 19 team come from the Western Province Rugby Institute. They actually stay on the premises, they have a dietitian, they have gym, everything is there. Yeah. And that ultimately makes a difference between winning and losing.
And that's what, of course, during that time that they're like in their growth phase. So they need as much food and protein as possible.
Absolutely, and the right food as well, and the right nutrition. You must understand that that's why it's so difficult for a player outside of the system to get into the under 19 or under 21 team.
Well, it is of course, that's the challenge. That's what development in South Africa is about, is making sure that as many people out there, number one, enjoys just playing rugby. And secondly, after they've enjoyed rugby as much as possible, thrown in as much passion as possible, hopefully get an opportunity, if they've got the talent, get the opportunity to be identified by the likes of Jerome and so forth. But having spoken now about Evox and the guys, let me push the Currie Cup to one side, but not too far away from me. It is, of course, by the way, folks, little Western Province Rugby flags were flying, of course, during yesterday's ticker tape parade, and we're going to have a look at a video of that a little bit later. In the meantime, if you'd like to win for yourself an Evox hamper, Cyto Crank, this is what you will use before the training session. Okay, so Cyto Crank is your starting product. Then, of course, we've got the recovery, that comes afterwards. But let's go with the before, during, and after, as you'll see in your slide in a couple of seconds' time when we announce last week's winner. So you'll start off your training session before you train with some Cyto Crank. This gives you a nice big energy boost and make sure you get through that whole training session. Remember, most training sessions will last an hour, hour and a half, as long as 2 hours. And this keeps you fired up at full energy, because if you're not working to your max, it means that your training partner is going to have to work harder, so he picks up for you. So you can never let them down, because it is a team sport. So this is the before, and then of course during your training or during the match, you can be sipping on some energy drink, your carbohydrate, and most important, if you train that match or play that game today and you train that gym session and you don't recover and you haven't repaired the muscles, then quite simply you're going to be in a situation that you're not going to be able to practice effectively tomorrow. So, recovery, that's what it's all about. Rapid recovery is the other Evox product that you can get your hands on. All right, and if you want to win for yourself this before, during, and after hamper, all you need to do is SMS the number, or at least the official sports nutrition supplier name to 33280. Just tell us who is the official sports nutrition supplier to the DHL Stormers and South Africa's best rugby team, the Currie Cup champions, the guys that brought home the trophy. Who helped Western Province Rugby bring home the Currie Cup trophy?